Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers reveal Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storms, has no idea what Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros is up to, and she probably wouldn't agree with it if she did. Somehow, Nina has convinced Carly Spencer, Alora Wright, to join forces with her in breaking up Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, and Drew Quartermain Cameron Matheson. How will they accomplish this monumental task when Willow has such stars in her eyes and can't seem to see Drew for who he really is? Enter Maxie. Will the Maxinista serve a larger role than merely letting Nina and Carly rifle through Drew's house? It's anyone's guess how Nina and Carly will ultimately set out to take Drew down. Right now, they're just spitballing. Could they be searching for dirt that they hope will help them unearth some secret that leaves Willow headed for the hills? Can they bank on getting that lucky? Besides, Maxie would never agree to root through Drew's belongings in search of something that may not exist to pin something on him that he may not have done. Will she be any more amenable to staging his place as though he cheated? It doesn't seem likely so far. We've only heard Nina mention going through Drew's things. Where is that going to get these ladies, and how might Maxie play a role? Offering to help Drew decorate his place was kind of Maxie, and clearly he knows that she's not judging him for falling in love with Willow, despite the bad timing. She also made it clear to Nina that she believes what Willow and Drew do is their private business, so how is Nina going to get Maxie on their side? Will we finally see the younger version of the meddling and gossipy Maxie we've been missing peek through the more mature exterior she's been sporting for the last several years? Whatever these ladies turn up, Drew is going to have a hard time piecing together what happened and how they pulled it off. He won't be able to make outlandish claims about Willow's mother and mother-in-law without any evidence to support what he thinks they did to him. At the same time, Willow is more than marginally aware that they don't exactly love Drew, or the two of them as a couple. Will it be harder for Willow to buy the truth about Drew than to buy his kooky theory that Nina and Carly are out to get him? Still, that seems more likely than it does that Nina and Carly will get Maxie to cooperate with this in any fashion. It's looking more and more like Nina will abscond with Maxie's spare key to make a copy when she doesn't notice than it does that Maxie will have any knowledge of what they're doing. The intrigue of General Hospital has never been more thrilling, as Maxie Jones finds herself at the center of an unexpected alliance that threatens to turn her life upside down. Long known for her moral compass and her devotion to her family, Maxie is now being drawn into a web of deceit and manipulation that pits her against the very people she once trusted. As the battle for Drew Kane's future intensifies, Maxie may soon find herself complicit in Carly Corinthos and Nina Reeves' secret plan to take him down. Maxie has always been a character who is fiercely loyal, especially when it comes to her friends and loved ones. But recently, she's had to grapple with the shifting dynamics around her. Her marriage to Peter August ended in tragedy, and she's found herself in a constant balancing act between supporting her family and holding on to her own values. Now, as she faces off against the ever-complicated situations in Port Charles, she may be forced to make some difficult decisions, ones that could redefine her place in the community. The setup: Carly and Nina's growing hostility toward Drew. The tension between Carly and Nina has been building for months, but the seeds of their hatred for Drew Kane began much earlier. Both women have deep grievances against Drew, and over time, these resentments have only festered. For Carly, her hatred of Drew is rooted in the fact that he's the brother of Jason Morgan. Jason was Carly's rock, and Drew's reappearance after years of being presumed dead has triggered a flood of emotions. To make matters worse, Drew's business dealings and his alliance with Nina in ELQ have become a constant thorn in Carly's side. With ELQ in turmoil, Carly sees Drew's leadership as a major threat to her family's legacy and stability. Nina, on the other hand, has her own reasons for disliking Drew. After spending years in a prison of her own, making due to her role in helping Valentin Cassadine cover up the truth about Nina's daughter, Sasha, she's tried to rebuild her life, only to be met with countless betrayals. Drew, as the CEO of ELQ, has been a major player in the corporate politics that have undermined Nina's control over the company. With Drew having a different vision for ELQ, it's easy to see why Nina has a vendetta against him. Additionally, Nina's unresolved feelings for Sonny Corinthos, Drew's close association with him, and her own insecurity about her position in Sonny's life only add fuel to the fire. However, things take a darker turn when both women come together to discuss their shared animosity toward Drew. A quiet alliance forms between Carly and Nina, both of them willing to go to extreme lengths to make sure Drew's career and life spirals out of control. Maxie's unlikely role. Maxie Jones has always been a key player in the drama of General Hospital, but until now, she's managed to avoid the kinds of high-stakes manipulations that others have been involved in. Her loyalty to family and friends has kept her mostly out of the corporate battles and personal vendettas that define much of Port Charles' intrigue, but Maxie's life has changed. As the fallout from Peter's death continues to reverberate through her life, she's been forced to reevaluate her relationships, especially with people like Carly, who she once saw as a close friend. Carly's emotional state has shifted, and Maxie can no longer ignore the fact that Carly is deeply invested in seeing Drew's downfall. The first signs of this emerge when Maxie becomes aware of Carly and Nina's growing alliance. Carly and Nina are careful not to let their intentions slip too soon, but Maxie's sharp instincts begin to pick up on the tension between the two women. She is initially reluctant to get involved, not wanting to stir the pot further or make her family's problems even more complicated. However, as she spends more time with both Carly and Nina, she starts to see the cracks in their plan, and the opportunity for her own gain. Maxie is no stranger to complicated relationships. She knows the stakes when it comes to business and family, and she understands how loyalty to friends can lead to sacrifices that others might deem unforgivable. Carly and Nina, despite their differences, offer her an alliance that could potentially benefit her own ambitions, especially in the face of her ongoing struggles at work and with her family. But here's where things get complicated. Maxie realizes that if she wants to protect her own interests and her family, she may have to compromise her morals and align herself with Carly and Nina, at least temporarily. Slowly, Maxie is drawn into their orbit, agreeing to keep their plans a secret and even assisting them behind the scenes. Maxie's moral struggle. As the plot to take Drew down deepens, Maxie faces a moral dilemma. On the one hand, she understands that Carly and Nina believe Drew is an obstacle that must be removed for the sake of their business and personal lives. But on the other hand, Maxie knows Drew isn't the villain they've painted him to be. Drew's past mistakes aside, he's not the kind of person to deserve the kind of betrayal that Carly and Nina are plotting against him. The inner conflict Maxie faces is powerful. On one hand, she wants to help her friends succeed, especially Carly, who has been there for her through thick and thin. But Maxie also remembers the lessons her mother taught her about honesty and integrity. As the stakes grow higher, Maxie is torn between her loyalty to Carly and Nina and her growing unease about the path they're on. As the consequences of their actions become more apparent, she begins to fear the repercussions for everyone involved, including herself. Despite her reservations, Maxie decides to keep going along with Carly and Nina's plans, at least for now. She rationalizes that taking down Drew will allow them to remove a major threat to their lives. But as the manipulation escalates, and she begins to see just how far Carly and Nina are willing to go, Maxie's sense of right and wrong begins to erode. The turning point, Maxie's breaking point. Maxie's breaking point arrives when she's asked to play a bigger role in their scheme. Carly and Nina want her to use her connections at the media company she works for to subtly leak damaging information about Drew. This would paint him as a corporate villain, giving Carly and Nina the ammunition they need to take him down both professionally and personally. At first, Maxie hesitates, but the pressure from both women mounts. Carly needs her to prove her loyalty, and Nina promises that there will be a significant payoff for Maxie if she follows through. Maxie's growing sense of desperation for control over her own life and her future starts to cloud her judgment, but as the plan moves forward, Maxie is forced to confront the consequences of her actions. She sees the toll it takes on Drew, who remains unaware of the betrayal unfolding around him. Drew's genuine attempts to make amends with the people in his life, including Carly and Nina, fall on deaf ears. As his career begins to unravel, Maxie feels the weight of her complicity in his downfall. What began as a plan to secure her future is now a painful reminder of the price of betrayal. A shocking revelation, the fallout. Just as Maxie begins to regret her involvement, things take a sharp turn. A new development arises that could expose Carly and Nina's plot. A key piece of evidence surfaces, threatening to ruin everything they've worked for. Maxie realizes that her decision to stay in the shadows may end up ruining her life as well. When Drew finds out about the conspiracy, the truth comes crashing down. His shock and heartbreak are palpable, as he never imagined that people he once considered allies could orchestrate such a scheme against him. But in a twist that no one saw coming, Maxie's own involvement is inadvertently exposed. Drew is devastated by the betrayal, and Maxie is left to pick up the pieces of her broken relationships. Carly and Nina, once her allies, now stand as adversaries in the eyes of the people they've hurt. Maxie must confront the damage she's caused and decide if there's any way she can redeem herself, both in Drew's eyes and in her own redemption or ruin. Maxie's future in Port Charles is uncertain. The fallout from Carly and Nina's plan to take Drew down has left her reputation in tatters. The question remains, will Maxie be able to find redemption and rebuild her relationships, or will she be forever known as the woman who helped betray an innocent man for personal gain? Only time will tell if Maxie can survive the storm she's helped create, or if the consequences of her actions will leave her lost in the wreckage of her once promising future. This spoiler-filled scenario could have major ramifications for Maxie's character arc, as her involvement in Carly and Nina's plot creates a moral and emotional dilemma that would challenge everything she's ever stood for. The impact of her decisions could reverberate through her relationships, both with her family and her allies, making this a pivotal moment in General Hospital history. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.